A gossip story, two jokers discussing woke. This is a fictional tale about two bright and sincere young men who have a strong love for America. They represent countless Americans who are worried about the chaotic state of the country. They have inspired me to write this humorous story for all to contemplate. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to real people is coincidental. Recently, BC Light and Dark told you part 1 of A Gossip Story, Two Jokers Discussing Woke. Today, we invite you to listen to part 2.
Alan cursed continuously. The radical left will ruin civilization. I created a spaceship to Mars. I dream that one day I will go to Mars with my wife to live on Mars. You're the richest person in the world, but why don't you buy a house to live in? Many people have asked me this question, and yet I haven't bought a house to live in. Some have even gone as far as to call me homeless. However, I'm not foolish enough to put myself in danger by living in an expensive property. If I were to challenge the most dangerous and corrupt criminals who are above the law, I would need to stay off their radar. Instead, I prefer to invest in a unique car and the most exceptional plane in the world, which allows me to travel wherever I please. You see, the Dark Empire, gangsters, and corrupt politicians have the means to buy off lawyers, judges, and even the Supreme Court. So, to avoid any unnecessary risks, I choose to live a low-key lifestyle. Do you think this country still has laws? Police were also beaten and even killed by hoodlums and thugs. We are living in a time of chaos and contempt. You watch Trump being humiliated, slandered, and humiliated year after year. Where is the justice? The strong and bad people decide the law. I don't want them to make up wild stories and then sue me in court. It takes a lot of time. They made up all the stories about many flies having sex with mosquitoes, mosquitoes biting the dog's ass. Ha, ha, how wonderful for this world to be played by Dark Empire. Cash agreed with Alan and nodded in acknowledgement. You are smarter and understand this strange land better than I do so. Right. Because I was born and raised in Africa. My experiences have given me insight into suffering, happiness, and how to deal with those who are hypocritical. Do you remember when I criticized Godfather directly online? Alan said in one breath. I heard it, but I had forgotten. Cash asked. Then listen to me. Alan cleared his throat before saying, when the far-left advocates for wokeism and attempts to enforce silence, I spoke up. As a result, they criticized me. Last May 15th, I posted a message on Twitter declaring that the Godfather hates humans. That elderly man reminds me of Magneto. Maybe you still remember the supervillain of the fictional Marvel Comics universe. Magneto rejects the possibility of peaceful coexistence between humans and mutants. First, he wants to take over the world to allow mutants to replace humans as rulers of all species. Cash said, Godfather is very rich. Alan said, yes, his charity organization spans 122 countries. He has a lot of money and uses it to bribe all dirty politicians around the world. He borrowed the name of a charity organization to make money and did illegal things. He has destroyed countries, and he is destroying America. The people to call him mummies. Alan paused for a few seconds and continued. I like watching science fiction movies. That's why I compare this creepy old man to Magneto. Because he survived the clutches of the Hitlerite. Journalist Ryan also commented that Mommy's experiences during the Holocaust as a survivor shaped according to his monstrous ideas. Cash argues, Rich people with cruel hearts will use their money to buy all the people who like to eat dirty to be their lackeys. Alan asked. Do you think he has good intentions? Cash replied. No, he wants to erode the fabric of civilization. Because his brain is always in the past period when he was born, growing up in poor poverty, ragged, selling gifts on the beach living. He also joined the Hitler army to plunder and kill people. He is a product of the remaining dinosaurs of civilization, Alan added. That's why I bluntly declare, he hates humans. I just finished writing those lines on tweet that a group of extreme leftists, profit-making factions called the anti-denial billionaire. Orangey thinks that I not only cause suffering, but am also dangerous. I attack mummies is attacking their Israel communities. These convictions are intended as a guide for district attorneys sued me. Now everyone knows clearly that mummies provided money for the Hamas terrorists to attack community. The person who supports and shields him will have to face the outcomes of his actions. I cannot comprehend why nobody holds him accountable for his deeds. He has a dominant position in America, and he employs criminals to undermine the country. Do you believe he genuinely has good intentions? I might copy his scoundrel game of paying more to buy whatever I want. Did you know my new CEO is extremely leftist? Everyone is afraid I will hire her. They are all wrong. Money controls her, so she must listen to me. Alan stopped laughing and added, Mummies compared and shrewdly identified the price arbitrage opportunities in the elections for lawyers and district attorneys. He only needed to spend a relatively small amount of money, but created a huge impact. His goal is to ask prosecutors to reduce the prosecution of even dangerous violent criminals. For example, recent crime in Virginia. Cash asked, Are you not worried about getting sued? That old man is quite intimidating. His wealth and reach span across the entire world. I'm not scared of him. I will continue to speak my mind, even if it means losing advertisers or customers. I stand by what I say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, then so be it. You're just like me, right? You are also banned from speaking and suspended by the boss, but my channel is always open. You can express yourself freely, be it through flying, dancing, performing comedy, or singing. The possibilities are endless. Alan replied. Alan laughed. My boss has now lost all credibility. The TV station, Wolf News, went downhill miserably after I left. If you go on my channel to talk about it, they are angry. Wow, I didn't expect you to be so famous that the whole world is watching. I like it so much. You should do whatever you think is right. We are not harming the country and the American people. Who has a lot of money? Who will be stronger than another one? They're afraid that if they lose me, they'll lose billions, so they don't dare kill me. Thank you for thinking like me. I'm suing my dictator boss. He also kicked my friend out. Mike's very smart. Journalism personality is the same as mine. But just because he mentioned the story of Mr. Scarecrow telling lies and ordering Mr. Bum to prosecute Mr. Trump for the White House records, my boss immediately kicked Mike out. The crimes of the idiot president are piled up as high as mountains, but no one can touch him. The laws are helpless. The billionaires now all drink the same bottle of milk from the Dark Empire, so they are thinking the same. They must know that when America is weak, Israel is the victim of the terrorists in the Middle East.
Part 2 pause. Please listen to Part 3 tomorrow. Thank you.